Welcome, one and all, to the very first episode of Vaper-Waves. I'm Gizmo the Radio, and I have the absolute pleasure of being the host of this series. But wait, what is Vaper-Waves? I'm so glad you asked. Vaper-Waves is a series of 5 videos that were all written, researched, produced, recorded, and everything else by yours truly for my final senior project. My overarching research topic was about the effects of advertising both for and against vapes on teenagers. The deeper I looked into this topic, the more I realized how often vape ads use marketing strategies to target children, but anti-vape ads fail tremendously when trying to reach the same demographic. So, I decided to make this series to talk about both sides of the issue and expose what either side is doing wrong. Alright, got all that? Cool. Now without further ado, let's get right into it. What better place to start than where it all began? In 2015, the company JUUL emerged with a new and cool product designed to be a healthier alternative to smoking. This revolutionary device was called an e-cigarette, or vape. This idea was very promising at the time, but science has since proven that vapes aren't as harmless as they claim to be. Nowadays, JUUL has fallen from grace and is generally regarded as the primary influencer in the teen vaping epidemic. Why? Well, let's look back at one of their original ads. The ad is just a series of models posing with vapes, accompanied by brief flashes of text saying it's easy to use and 20 puffs per pod. There's no explanation as to what the product truly is or what it does, but that's not on accident. That vagueness compels viewers to want to learn more, to figure out what this mysterious new device is. After all, the actors look so happy to be using it. Now, enthusiastic actors are par for the course in advertising, but I'd like to point out something particularly interesting about these choices. There's a decent amount of diversity amongst this cast, but they can all be described as conventionally attractive. Visual appeal can work wonders in marketing, but there will be a whole other episode about that. Also, the reason I keep bringing up the fact that these actors are so young is because a younger model is more likely to attract a younger audience. Yes, these people are clearly adults, but they seem to be in their 20s or so. Teenagers notoriously struggle with towing the line between adult and childhood. Sure, they may not be 18 yet, but there's a sense of maturity and self-responsibility that's developing within them that oftentimes leads to teens looking up to and envying young adults. The point is, when a teenager sees a pretty young model advertising a new, cool product that seems to be popular, they're immediately going to want to try it too. That's what's so dangerous about the way these companies market their products. Details that might seem harmless or unimportant are actually deliberate choices that can trick young minds if nobody is there to call them out for it. But this is just the beginning. There's a lot more to talk about, so let's get straight into ad number 2. Next, we'll be looking at an ad for a product called the Me Pod. It's pretty much a normal e-cigarette, but its big selling point is its compact size. The ad describes the device as pocket-sized and makes it clear that it is easy to carry around. Now, you may be asking, weren't the other ones easy to carry too? Supposedly, they are. Your traditional vape is not very big, so how does designing one into the shape of a square make that much of a difference? Simple, it's easier to hide. A small square is a lot more discreet than a long, thin rectangle. Not only is it easier to hide, but the design makes it a lot less likely to be immediately recognized as a vape. And what demographic is most likely to have to hide a vape? Exactly, teenagers. These e-cigarette companies know their market. They know who's buying their product, and they're feeding into that crowd. Don't believe me? Allow me to draw your attention to the way this commercial describes the Me Pod as a fashion accessory. Why would you want your vape to double as a fashion accessory? No clue. But what they're trying to do is manufacture a fashion trend. Fleeting fads are bound to attract the kids who want to stand out from their peers, but also the ones who latch on to whatever seems popular. On the topic of trends, I shall now present to you one of the worst things I have ever seen. Bored Ape NFT vapes. I'll be upfront. I do not like NFTs. I won't go into the details of either side of the argument, but no matter what you think about NFTs, hopefully we can all agree that this was a terrible idea. These apes were all over Twitter in 2021, and everybody was talking about them, whether it was positive or negative. If you weren't a fan, they were easy to make fun of. If you were a fan, then you wanted one more than anything. The scarcity, if you can call it that, was half the reason they blew up in the first place. So, if you start offering a product with this sought-after design, it's going to attract a crowd. But as I mentioned earlier, Bored Apes were popular on social media, which is to say that they were something teens were very aware of, and potentially very interested in. With all of the shady things the Bored Ape Company has done so far, I wouldn't be surprised if they knew this partnership would bring in a younger audience, and deliberately went through with it just to earn a few quick bucks. Thank you so much for watching the very first episode of Vaper-Waves. This is a project I'm really passionate about, so I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say. If you liked it, please feel free to leave a like or even subscribe if you want to catch the next episodes. If you have any feedback, opinions, or general thoughts you'd like to share, drop a comment down below. It seems we've reached the end of our time today, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. Once again, I'm your host, Gizmo the Radio, and this has been Vaper-Waves. Until next time, good morning, good evening, and good day.